Have you ever signed up for a course or a certification or something online that you were told was going to solve all your problems, only to find out at the end of it that you got nothing from it? If you can relate to this, you are going to want to watch this video. Hi, my name is Dr. Alessandra Wall. I'm an executive coach, and I'm also the founder of Noteworthy. Noteworthy specializes in supporting and elevating and in accelerating the careers of executive leaders in STEM and finance. We focus on working specifically with women. Before I started my career at Noteworthy, I spent nearly 20 years as a clinical psychologist. And in both of these capacities, I have had thousands of conversations with hundreds of women about what it takes to be successful and what it takes to build success that is aligned with real fulfillment in your career. And here are two lessons that I've learned from the work I've done with all those women. First and foremost, it is not enough to have all the right resources and all the right tools at your disposal. You and I know today that you could jump online and anything you need to learn, anything you need to know, you can find it. Someone somewhere out there has created a resource for you. So if having access to the right kind of information or knowledge is not enough, what else do you need? Well, as a clinical psychologist, what I discovered is that the number one roadblock to success isn't lack of access to resources. It isn't even lack of access to opportunities. The number one barrier to success is you. And very specifically, it's the way you see yourself and you see the world. So today, what I want to do is give you a quick overview of how your brain works to produce certain beliefs and emotions that can stop you in your tracks. And I want to talk just for a little bit about what you can do to change that. If you're ready to hear about this and how it works, I want you to pull out a sheet of paper because there's some notes you might want to take. Okay, the first thing you need to know is that from the moment you're born, your brain is constantly trying to make sense of how the world works. It does this in order to survive. What your brain is trying to figure out at every moment of the day is what the situations you're facing with have to say about who you are, what the world is like, and what the future can hold. Over time, you start to form certain theories, certain assumptions, and those assumptions are your starting point anytime you're faced with a situation. If you're lucky enough to have gone through a lot of positive opportunities in life, one of the assumptions you might have is that if you work hard enough, you can reach any goal, any objective you have. But if you faced a fair amount of hardship and failure in that hardship, maybe one of the assumptions that you form is no matter how hard you try, it won't work for you. Regardless of what your assumptions are, the beliefs that pop up in your head when you're faced with a situation, trigger emotional responses. Now, this is really important to understand because a lot of times we think that our emotions are a direct reaction to the situations we're facing, but they're actually far more complex. What your emotions are is an outward manifestation, an outward expression of what you're thinking in your head. And so it puts me in a really complicated and uncomfortable place to be told I need to do something, always negotiate for more, when I believe I don't deserve to have more. That belief system is going to make me feel anxious about asking for more because fundamentally, I don't believe I deserve it. Right? So the anxiety I feel is not at the opportunity to ask for more money or to negotiate a larger compensation. The anxiety is triggered by the belief that even though I have that opportunity, I don't deserve it. Now, here's where it gets more complicated. So every day, you're faced with dozens and dozens of situations. Every time you're faced with a situation, your brain tries to make sense of the world and of you. Depending on the kinds of thoughts or beliefs or assumptions that pop up in your head, you start to develop an emotional response. Thoughts in combination with your emotions are going to dictate how you behave or how you react to a situation. So your behavior doesn't just happen as a response to what's going on in the world. It happens as a response to what you believe about what's going on and how you feel about it. Let's go back to my negotiation situation. So the situation is, let's just say you just got a job offer and your coach says, this is great. Now I want you to try to negotiate a better compensation package. Faced with that situation, you have a whole set of beliefs, but what they come down to is this won't work for me because I don't deserve it. So now you're in a position of feeling very anxious and uncomfortable and distressed. The most likely behavior that will come from that, if you don't have the right support, if you don't have somebody who can help you understand what those beliefs are and how to eliminate them, how to erode them, how to overcome them, is you will avoid. You will avoid negotiating at all cost. That avoidance might show up as you just straight up refusing to ask for more. It might show up as weakness in your language when you talk about negotiating it. Or maybe you'll put it off or you'll ask for less than what you deserve. And all that's going to do is reinforce your belief that you don't deserve that much. That really success is about working super, super hard for just a little bit, and that's the best you can do. We call that a vicious cycle. At Noteworthy, we work with our clients to identify what your self-limiting beliefs are. We want to make sure that in addition to providing you with an excellent and powerful system, with the right kind of tools, with the best and most engaged kind of support, you also can understand what's going on in your head, and you can start to challenge and eventually overcome the beliefs that are going to hold you back in your career. So one of the resources I'm sharing today to help you better understand the system is a quick one-pager with the cycle I just talked about and a few ways to start identifying and challenging the thoughts that are going to keep you from taking the action that will lead to the success you deserve. If you're interested in understanding how this works, if you want to know more about Noteworthy, well, you can watch a few more of the videos on the YouTube channel, or you can apply for a strategy call.